Here we are at the World Steam Expo, and I have the League of Steam, an amazing group who are of performers from Burbank, California, if I'm not mistaken, who do an incredible show, and I'd like to have them introduce themselves and tell a little bit about your group.
A little bit about the group?
Well, first introduce yourself.
Who are you?
Who are you, Robin?
My name is Robin Blackburn, and I play Lady Ameliorette Potts in the League of Steam.
Awesome.
My name's Nick Bauman, and I play Krakus Potts.
I'm Dwayne Matthews, and I play Jesper Mooney.
And I'm Andrew Fogel, and I play Baron von Fogel.
And we have a web series online that you can see on our webpage at
LeagueofSteam.com.
Thank you. It's been a long day. And we also do live shows as well at this convention. For instance, we did our parlor show.
Where we
Very cool.
do interactive demonstrations of some of our gadgets and things like that.
What does that one do, Mr. Mooney?
This, sir, is called the Hug Gun, the Hunting Utility Gun, and it is a net cannon is what this is. And when we're hunting prey, we are, by the way, monster hunters, Victorian monster hunters. And when we're attempting to capture rather than destroy, this is what we use. And this will shoot a net, actually shoots. All of our equipment actually works. And this will shoot this particular net about 25, 30 feet. It's a 6-foot net, and it's
awesome.
actually it's great fun. People love to be ensnared. Go figure. I don't know why, but they love it.
It's a hug.
It's a hug.
It's a hug. It's a hug from us, from the League of Steam.
Is it dangerous?
Not yet.
Oh no! Oh no!
No, we have
Non-lethal.
we have the safety balls on here.
Oh, those look harder than they.
Yeah. Actually, and in reality, we're very aware of anything that could be, because we are interactive, and we don't want to obviously hurt any of our fans, or potential fans.
See, the great
And I
thing
figure
about steampunks is everyone always has their safety goggles.
Right.
So when we
Right.
do our live interactive demos, you know, you can put on your safety goggles and no one loses an eye very often.
Right.
Yes.
Too much.
Maybe a finger.
So how did you guys come up with this?
There's a lot of crazy going on in our heads.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we need an outlet for it.
Yeah.
So.
It's like we all loved steampunk, and all of us are craftspeople and costumers, and the idea sort of evolved out of a couple of different projects, and I think we all just found that we had a common interest and liked making crazy stuff and showing off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a great creative outlet because we really love the aesthetic.
And we got super lucky because we all like each other.
Yes.
And so
goodness.
we had another great bit of glue. Besides all of us having individually that love for all those other things, we're like, hey, we kind of like each
We
other.
like hanging out.
Yeah.
We like doing this
So-
together.
Very cool.
And we can do it together way better than any one of us could do individually.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we come from all different backgrounds. I mean, Robin and I have been together for, over 10 years?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so just naturally, you know, we fell into this together. But even Dwayne and I were both doing pirate stuff in the pirate community in Southern California, kind of knew of each other, and then just this sort of evolved because he's a great performer with his pirate stuff, does educational stuff for kids, for piracy.
You'd be surprised how many kids don't know how to walk the plank. And I think it's a very important skill, and I'm more than willing to give
You know
them
what?
that knowledge.
They only have to
those-
learn it once.
No, only once.
And those decks aren't going to swab themselves.
No. And they're so much closer to the deck,
Yeah.
it's so much easier.
Oh, right.
So he was
You're
a
a
natural
thinking man.
performer when we were sort of assembling this, and it sort of just happened. It all just happened naturally, organically. We started. Actually, it really started with Robin. My wife really wanted to do some ghost costumes, and at the time, this was years, like 2007, 2006, 2007.
Seven.
Yeah.
I can just imagine that conversation around the dinner table. Honey,
I want to be a ghost.
Pretty much. Yeah. We'd been doing this amazing costume ball for several years called the Labyrinth of Jareth in Los Angeles. The best masquerade costume party.
People pull out
every
all the
year.
stops for this
Oh, yeah.
event.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Better than
And,
Halloween.
When is it?
That is
July.
July.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Or
Second
last weekend
July.
of June this year.
Yeah, this year it's a little
Yeah, it works
earlier.
better for us this year.
So I'll try and briefly sum this up. So she really wanted to do this amazing ghost costume that lit up and blew and was a period accurate costume, but was really torn and tattered, and she had great designs for it. But at the time, she wants to do a group costume. These group costumes are fun as a group, and they're also just very dramatic and dynamic for an audience. And
But when you have to go to the bathroom, does that mean everybody has to go at the same time?
Sometimes.
yeah. Well, you
Well,
got
it depends if you're attached in some way.
Well, yeah, you said it was a group costume.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh, was it costumes more than one?
Right,
Oh, okay,
right.
I got confused.
We were
Oh.
a group with a lot of the same costumes. Is probably closer
It's
to.
kind of a common theme or story
Makes
being
sense.
told.
I think it's more
A
fun to go to the bathroom
costumed
together.
group.
But I like the idea.
Costumed group. There you go.
Doomed. Yes.
It's not like we're one gigantic ghost.
Though that could be cool.
Yeah.
One really big ghost.
Somebody
Like,
jot
I'm
that
going
down
there
before I
Muppet
get-
Ghost Man.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
But at the time, I was working on another project, and it sort of mixed this Victorian science fiction, kind of what I call Da Vinci punk, pirates, just sort of all this other cool aesthetic and creativity and early invention. And I was kind of finding this thing called steampunk online. It was really not that big online. You really couldn't find much stuff, and it was really getting into that. And Rob's like, well, I want to do the ghost thing. And I'm thinking, well, I want to do this, I want to make a steampunk costume. I'm like, well, what if we sort of combine it? And I sort of do a steampunk Ghostbuster. How about that? Wouldn't that be cool? And so that's what we did. She got a couple other girlfriends to make ghost costumes, about 3 different periods of history. And I got 2 other buddies of mine to make other ghost punk. And that was great. So it was a big hit. I think that's the second year.
Second year.
We met.
So the first year we met, both of us showed up with steampunk mechanical arms.
Right.
And we were like, hey, we're doing the same thing. This is awesome.
It was sort of like, hey,
Yeah.
how you
Shook
doing?
hands like this.
It was.
But yeah, and so then we kept in touch only a little bit over the course of the next
Yeah.
year. And I remember like a week before you said, hey, I'm doing steampunk again. I'm doing this crazy thing. What are you doing? I said, I'm doing a crazy steampunk thing too, because I was working on a steampunk rocket pack.
Oh, cool.
And he was
right.
doing the ghost pack, and so we wound up meeting up there and hanging out that night, and we sort of realized that our minds were on the same wavelength, and we started working on projects together.
And everyone in the group just sort of started falling into place after that over the next couple of years, and now we're up to 12 performers. And
Yeah. I didn't realize it, but he actually got me hooked on steampunk when we were pirates, which is even a little earlier connection for you and I, because I was at a pirate event and he had this gun, the Hug gun,
Uh-huh.
at the pirate event, and I went, how does that relate to the pirate? He said, don't worry about it. Watch this. This is really cool. And so he was shooting it all day long, and I went, that is really cool. And what the hell is that connected to? And he said, it's steampunk. And I goes, what's that? And then I started looking into it a little
Uh-huh.
bit, and then it kind of it got me started thinking about it.
it's very steampunk. I think is very creatively contagious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It
And
is.
so many people I know. I was going to say creative people, but you know what? There are people that I've met who have really unlocked their creativeness by finding steampunk because it's so inspirational.
Yeah.
It's amazing to meet people every event we do that say how much. How inspirational our group has been to them. I mean, it's one of the biggest compliments to.
And we
Oh,
do
absolutely.
educational programming as well, and we talk about how we build our props and how we develop our characters and stuff. And I've given panels at cons, and then the next year I came back and I've had people come up to me and show me some specific thing, that this thing that you said to me last year inspired me to do this
Yeah.
part of this costume.
Awesome.
And that's really awesome to be contributing to a creative community like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Even today, there's been a group of a couple of young filmmakers. They started in a class making certain films. They got their teacher kind of told them about steampunk, and then they found us, and they've been at every one of our panels throughout the whole weekend, and they're just so excited about being involved and doing more and more and more. They want to make films. They want to make stuff.
Awesome.
And it was just so great to see them that excited about what we do. And fortunately for us, we're kind of the catalyst. We're helping them get even more excited about being involved in steampunk.
Yeah, it's really been neat to see the community grow. And all the creativity, and no, I'm not going to cry.
Now, you said you've got web series?
Yeah.
Can, what can you tell me about that?
So it's called The Adventures of the League of Steam, and it's a short-form web series. The episodes range between 3 and 6 minutes, and we're just concluding our second season right now, a Kickstarter-funded second season.
Very cool.
And
Yes, indeed.
and so it's just sort of a way for us to. It's these fun little films, very slapstick comedy, that follow us on our monster hunting adventures. And the episodes come out every 2 weeks, and
Got one more episode.
we've got one
Yeah.
more episode left in the
for
season.
this season.
And we do it all. We do everything: writing, props, editing, everything.
Acting,
Acting,
costume
yeah.
design.
Who does
all
the
of it.
writing?
All of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
of us.
we switch off writing scripts.
In fact, each of us, even though we may not have that as a background, we're learning. Especially in this season 2, a lot of us have got a chance to do a little bit more, and so we're learning about directing. For some of us, have our first attempts, and writing. Some of us for our first attempts. So we're growing as a group, and we're just having this great time learning more and more about what it's all about.
Yeah, and several of us have experience in different parts of the entertainment industry. So, Nick, for example, has worked professionally doing special effects and props, and he's
Yeah.
been sort of, mentoring some other people. I'm a director and went to film school for that, and so I've been sort of working with other people to teach them a little bit more about directing, and so
Very
it's just
cool.
been a really cool collaborative process
Yeah.
for us.
Dwayne's been an art teacher for
35 years.
35 years.
I started when I was 3.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not really. This is makeup. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
really this-
Very cool.
No, it's not. I'm old.
Me
Well,
too.
sort of.
But
sort
young
of.
at heart.
Yeah, way young at heart.
It's actually one of the neat things I've really liked about our group is the age range that we have in our group. I mean, because it's really from mid-20s all
Right.
the way up
Right
to
here.
retirement age, and everything in between.
But we're
So it's-
all
you.
It's
equally immature.
Yes, yeah.
But we're
That
all
is
15.
the equalizer right there. The immaturity level.
We're all
It's the same.
children.
Because we all
Yeah.
just want to have fun and enjoy what we're doing,
Yeah.
and we
And
love
build
it.
something. We
Yeah.
all want to
Yeah.
build something and create something
And we
together.
want other people to have fun. That's
Yeah.
why we do it.
Yeah.
And it's not
That's why we do it.
just physically build something; it's building a community and building a fan base, building people that enjoy building entertainment. I guess
Yeah.
Very cool. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Well, actually, I have 2 questions. Were any of you at the Her Royal Majesty's Steampunk Symposium in January?
No. We didn't.
No,
Yeah.
unfortunately, that was right in the middle of our webisode production.
Okay.
So we were off filming our
We're-
adventures.
Yeah.
We just started actually filming
Right.
January.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we were in a jungle or
On a ship
on
or-
a ship or where we were.
I was thinking your faces looked familiar, but it's probably because I was looking at the information about the.
Yeah, we're on the website.
Oh, exactly. You're on the website and actually looked at your Kickstarter, so or
cool.
the information on the Kickstarter. I've supported a few of those. So.
Awesome.
Now, asking this group is kind of dangerous, but I like to offer everybody that I talk to the opportunity to tell me something weird, something unusual that maybe your fans don't know, something that's happened. It could be something that happened at an event, or like the Honky Tonk Man, a professional wrestler, told me about. He was off the coast of Newfoundland on a ship and saw these beautiful icebergs and was just talking about how beautiful they were. And then he found out he was where the Titanic had sunk.
I've got a story.
All right,
I've
go
got a
for
story.
it.
All right, one of our very first shows was on the Queen Mary. And
Yeah.
one of the things that we offered as part of the entertainment was a ghost tour. And if anyone knows about the Titanic, they know that there are supposedly actual ghosts
Queen Mary.
on the Queen Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Titanic.
Oh,
Right.
There may be on
I'm
the
not that
Titanic
old.
too.
I'm not that old. On the
I really don't
Queen-
want to do a
on the
show.
Queen Titanic. On the Queen Titanic, no, on the Queen Mary, and so we worked on putting this show together, and And I'm not normally a believer in ghosts, which is probably good working with this group. I would be a lot more nervous than I would normally be.
We just play it on TV.
Yeah, we just pretend. Well, anyhow, long story short, we had our walk set up, and we'd bring people through, and
This is in
one of our friends,
the engine room.
yeah,
Yes.
in the engine room, and
Which is
The second most haunted spot on the ship.
yeah,
Right. Right. There's a fabulous story about how this guy died being slammed in
yes.
one of those doorway things. Yeah.
I didn't believe any of it. I goes, that's all great. This is great build up for what we're doing, until we were doing the show that night, and I leaned over the railing because I was waiting for a cue to have a particular thing happen. I can't remember exactly what it is right now, but I leaned over a particular part of a railing that I had to so I could see down the hallway to cue somebody to go bang in a door.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my ribs popped out. I don't know how, I don't know why. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that
Yeah.
hurt for weeks
Yeah.
and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
And I goes, well, I don't know, I cannot imagine what happened. And then I thought I saw something that wasn't really supposed to be there. There wasn't the person that was
Right.
supposed to be cued. So I'm a believer. I'm a believer. And one of our friends actually told us, and she's more closely connected to this kind of activity.
Right.
And she warned us. We had a little preemptive things before we went to start the show. And she goes, it's a pretty strong activity.
Yeah.
And I'm going, yeah, oh, yeah.
But and that's the interesting thing, because this friend of ours was actually working with us when we first started up, and we were encouraging her at the time because she was sensitive, and I want to believe in this stuff, but it's really when I need something more tangible. I want to believe, but really, anyway.
Right, yeah.
So we do some ghost investigations with her and stuff like this, but she was amazing, and she has no reason to make the stuff up or lie.
Yeah.
She's not that type of person, and we had some pretty freaky encounters.
Yes. Yeah.
So to have her on the show, she was actually playing one of our
One of the ghosts, yep.
She was one of the 3 original ghosts. And like we said, this engine room is really freaky. And then we also went around
Oh,
and,
we
and
found
unscrewed.
we found the breaker box and turned off all the lights
Yes.
down there.
Unscrewed some of the safety lights. So
Black. We
it
bathed
was
this place in
pitch black
darkness.
in some of these spots. So, and if we didn't say this before, we're basically doing a ghost tour. You know, the Queen
right,
does ghost
right,
tours
right.
all the time.
Right.
So we're doing
Our
basically
version,
a
our own
staged
version.
And you're
ghost
probably
tour.
telling ghost stories.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
it's not
Oh, yeah.
not a jump out of the dark with a shaker can type thing.
No.
It's basically
It's a
just
let's
telling
stand
you,
in this haunted spot and tell you something really freaky that happened here.
So it's standing in the dark, telling you ghost stories, and you just let your imagination go. We did have 2 performers, all in black, in the shadows, just
Who would
to
just
sorta-
walk around so you
just
could
subtly walk around.
get the impression that there's something moving out there.
There
Right.
were a couple times where we're like, I remember just saying, "Oh, that part where that happened, that noise," and they were just like, "We weren't
Weren't
over
there."
there at that time."
Yeah.
So it was, and our friend at the time was just like, be respectful, because this is a really strong energy
Yeah.
here. There's really stuff happening. So let's just be respectful.
Right.
And it really added to our performance, I
Yeah,
think. because
and I got to tell you that the ghosts, there were 3 of us, and at the beginning of the tour, we were spread out throughout this area, the engine room, and so we didn't have each other, and we were waiting for people to come up for the ghost
Yeah.
story or whatever it was that initiated us coming into the environment. And I would get so freaked out about just being by myself, and it's completely pitch black. The only thing lit up is me, glowing, being a beacon to whatever was out there. And there was a part where we would all come together after we did certain things apart. And it was such a relief every time that moment would come up into it was like, oh, thank God, nothing happened.
Well, the thing for me that was kind of funny was, so I was stationed telling this story about the guy who got slammed in this door.
Right.
And so I'm out there like waiting in the dark and all that, like everybody else is. And
I know you're right there in the scariest part.
this is like the farthest down and the farthest back, so I'm like the furthest removed from the exits and all
Right.
that. And right before the tour, like maybe an hour before the tour, we were having a conversation with a psychic paranormal investigator who was like resident to the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she meets me, and within seconds of meeting me, she says, there's a presence about you that you look very much like one of the ghosts on this ship, and I feel that you're somehow connected to this ghost, and that there's some sort of connection here. It's this ghost of this man who was slammed in this door. I'm just like, oh God. So
That's helpful.
right. So, but like, I try in my mind as I'm down there in pitch black, standing next to this door where this guy died, who I'm supposedly connected with. I'm just trying to think, okay, well, if I am connected to this ghost, then it would be benevolent to me in some way, and I shouldn't be scared. But it was still kind of freaky, and then there's noises coming out of the darkness.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd be afraid of the door.
yeah,
It killed him. It may be wanting me.
I walked through that door briskly.
And I think that the fun thing that ended this whole tour was some sort of action happened. We had to rush everybody out really quickly because it got too dangerous. So we rushed the whole group, and there were 20
people.
Yeah.
20 people
It was a
to rush out
small,
of this
intimate-
narrow corridor,
walkway, yeah,
get them
in the
out the
dark.
door to safety, and then we tell them we're going to go back in and take care of these entities.
And they've
So-
got the Ghostbusters
yeah, we have
packs,
ghost packs
on
and
all that.
start blasting away, making all this noise. So we run back in. We have buckets of slime. We douse ourselves with buckets of green slime,
Ectoplasmic slime.
and then come back out the door, and everyone's out there. What's happening? What's happening? The three of us bust out, drenched in slime.
We got him! We got him!
Yeah, it was fun, and then we had little vials for the
That was
audience.
the souvenir.
The
We were like
souvenir.
scraping goop off of us into vials and handing it out.
That was a lot of fun.
I take it you'd only do one of these shows an evening, or?
That was the only one.
Yeah.
It was like a VIP. I think we raffled.
We
actually.
did.
Yeah.
We raffled off
tickets
the
to
for
and
the
it was
people
like,
to
this
win.
was like at midnight too. So it was
Yeah.
like the witching hour.
It was an amazing show, and I've been wanting us to do another show like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was our
Yeah.
actually very first professional show.
Yep.
I mean,
It was.
Yeah.
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 So it had elements of
I haven't
actual
thought about that in forever.
I
getting
know.
scared because things are really happening, and then we made our own things happen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, thanks for the
Yeah.
memories.
Well,
Yeah.
you're
was
welcome.
kinda nice-
Glad I could
nice
bring
to
it up.
reminisce about that.
Yeah, I remember that too. Almost as if I were there.
What was your name, sir?
Wait a minute.
Door ever hit you real hard? You know what I mean?
No.
Anyhow, thank you folks very much. And from the World Steam Expo in Dearborn, Michigan, this is the Weird Review.
There you go.
Fire in the hole!
Action!
Weird.
Thank you guys.
Okay, we got it right.
You guys are wonderful.